What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and obviously we're here with a little bit of an unprecedented live stream, and it's just because it's Sancho watch time, and it's coming down to an end, the transfer window here. But before we get really into that, I need to, as many of you guys know, I lost a bet to Bayern now, and I have to say Mia San Mia before each and one of my episodes for this week, and I forgot to do it actually on the 5 takeaways episode, so I got called out on it, so I'm just going to say it twice for this one, and hopefully that makes up for it. So for the second time, unfortunately, Mia San Mia. So, you know. And after that, we can now dive in. But it's okay, because George actually lost a bet himself, and he's rocking the Dortmund logo for, I think, a week or so. So that's beautiful as well. So, I mean, if you want to go make fun of him, jump on over to his Twitter and take a look for yourself. But we are here for a reason, and we are here to count down the clock until 6 o'clock hits Eastern Standard Time, which is what I'm in, which means that the transfer window is completely closed. And I'm excited because I was very cautious about going on Twitter and making videos. I had a few people message me and say, why aren't you making videos on Sancho? Keep us up to date. I personally believe that he wasn't leaving. I felt like as soon as they made that clear on August 10th, it was done. However, this is football. As many of you guys know, that can change just like that. And I didn't want to jinx it. I didn't want to throw a lot of tweets and negativity and then all of a sudden comes back and bite me in the butt, because we're going to have a lot of fun here with some of the United fans soon. So if you guys are jumping on in the stream, this will just be, I'm going to be chatting with you guys in the comments section too, just about some general transfers as well. And we're just going to sit back, relax, and watch the clock tick down to 0 when United has absolutely no chance of signing Sancho. And I also put it out on Twitter today that I wanted to you guys to tag me in a lot of Sancho is staying tweets, and I got a lot of them sent to me. Big shout out to BBB Atlanta. They were sending me them all day long. There's a couple collages that were in there that were fantastic too. So we're going to have a little segment on this live stream that's going to be called JJD TV Reads United Tweets. So that should be fun. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to sit and wait. But I was nervous. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen with Sancho at the beginning of the window. But once they made it very clear that he wasn't leaving, I was like, all right, if United don't make a move sometime in August, maybe even early September, I thought that maybe the money talks and Dortmund might let him go. But nothing happened. As soon as that deadline went, it looked like we were completely in the clear. And then all the rumors just kind of kept coming back up and going away. And I think that the Dortmund board wants to make a statement because of what happened, obviously, with Dembele and what happened with Aubameyang, that they gave their terms, it wasn't met, and if Sancho's not prying his way out of the club, I didn't see him moving. So that's what I saw here, and yeah. So I mean, it could. Football's crazy. All of a sudden, someone can come in, and there could be even a secret clause in his contract. No one knows what could lead him to leave. So I mean, I could be making this video and reading out United tweets, and then all of a sudden we find out that he gets moved on. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to stay for another season. I think we're just going to sit here and enjoy. So I'm just going to dive into the comments and see who's all on here and saying hi. Luke Carey said he needs to get a party hat. I wanted to get a party hat too. I'm actually pretty disappointed in myself. I was going to get the confetti. It feels like New Year's. We're counting down to another season of Sancho. But on Twitter, I saw so much negativity, and I just can't wait to read out some of these tweets because they're absolutely hilarious. And United fans, there's a lot of them. So they come at you hard, but we had a lot of troopers on the Dortmund side that, I mean, some of them shot back twice as hard, but it was funny. It was funny nonetheless, but I just tried to stay out of it until now, where I can hopefully bring everyone together. We can sit back and we can laugh. Sancho was staying. It was clear since August 10th. It was. I mean, I agree that him staying since August 10th was clear, and I thought at the time they made that statement because of what happened in the past couple of years. But like I said, it's football, and I mean, we've seen like the Neymar transfer. There's so many different sagas that could happen that could rip someone out of a club. And if Sancho decided to go on strike, I mean, it could have always been a possibility, but Sancho's been an absolute class act, and I mean, I'm excited the way it's turned out, and we're going to get another season of him. The Man United fans will immediately silence, especially the big mouth. Yeah, the United stand had a lot of fun. That's where, I mean, I don't know how many mornings I woke up and then I just see James taking shots at the United stand, and it you know, it made me laugh a little bit. It was pretty funny, but there was a lot of shots back and forth, and I even saw something in today where it looked like the subreddit on Dortmund got taken down. I don't even know. It looked like a big banter back and forth. But yeah, I mean, some of the tweets were just hilarious. Like one off the top of my head was just like, Dortmund, you suck. That's all it said, and then I had a little space and said Sancho is clearly coming to United, and then I had the peace sign, and I was just like, okay, well, that hit me where it hurt. It is strange. I'm kind of disappointed with how relaxed it's been the last couple of weeks. Our business has done it really great. No, it's a hectic time. I agree. I think that we have had a bit of a non-hectic type transfer window. I was surprised because I've reiterated countless times that we need to sign a center back and we need to sign a striker. So I was surprised when we were obviously linked with the ex-Schalke guy, the Barcelona man, who actually just went over on a 2-year loan deal, I believe, to Benfica or Porto. I can't remember. But I mean, I was excited for him. I was hoping he'd come in. I put even a tweet out again that had a poll of if you guys wanted to see Todibo over at Dortmund, and I think we had almost 100 votes, and I think 80% of you guys said you would. I would too. I mean, the Schalke connection for a loan didn't really bother me, and I thought he would have been an extra body to come in. So I was just kind of surprised, and I like the way you put it, that it's just been very relaxed, because I assumed that it would have just kind of been quiet, and then all of a sudden on the last day, we'd have snaked a little loan move for somewhere. I really was stressing Malang Sarr. I could have been positive he was going to come here. He didn't. I think he went over to Portugal as well. I can't remember. But either way, they both went on loans. I was just convinced that's the play for Dortmund needs. Quick little loan deal, get a center back in, maybe a young kid. Obviously, it did not happen. So I was a little shocked by that. But we are finding chemistry in the back, which feels good to say. I mean, with Chan, Akanji, and Hummels finding a little bit of chemistry, getting, I'd say better and better each game. I think that's absolutely fantastic. As well as we still have Piszczek, who can play a role there, and now we have Zagadou coming back. So, I mean, our back line is still pretty healthy, if you ask me. But I still would have liked a young player who could have came in just on a loan, just to get a little bit extra competition, maybe just give everyone in the defense a little boost they need. I don't know, but that was one that I was surprised that didn't go through. If I was going to say one Dortmund transfer would have went through, it would have been that center back. It didn't, but we're playing well. Our defense is playing fantastic, so I mean, I don't really have an issue with it. The other position I was looking to go for was a striker. And obviously with Moukoko coming up, he's obviously going to be the man. I guess they just want to run Holland as quick as they can. Hope November comes, and he'll be the guy who gets integrated. We have some other versatile players who can play up there, but nevertheless, I mean, it's exciting. Like, I mean, I'm pretty happy with the way the team's playing. Oh, there we go. We got a little bit of knowledge now. I believe you guys said Todibo went to Benfica. I'm pretty disappointed. Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed too. Like I mentioned, that we didn't get a center back. I thought he'd been a perfect one. Honestly, a perfect one. Very young kid, not expecting a crazy amount of game time. Put up some decent performances for Schalke, as well as got that Bundesliga experience. I thought he would have been an absolute shoe-in for us. So I was a little bummed out that move didn't happen. But like I said, we can just obviously hope that the center backs that we have and Zagadou coming back can keep us going. What do you think about Bayern's transfer window? I took a very close eye on that because obviously there are our rivals, but in my opinion, their bench is still weaker than it was last season. I mean, I think that's not like crazy knowledge. I think you guys could all agree with that. But I don't think the moves they brought in really made that team much stronger. I don't think that Douglas Costa has a consistency and has even the capability to playing a ton of games. I think that he's had a ton of injuries in the past few seasons. He hasn't done much for Juventus, and they did need a winger, and I'm assuming just because of the connection, he's the reason they came in. But I don't rate that winger any better than Perisic, in my opinion. So I mean, he's a question mark because Douglas Costa does have a lot of ability, does have a lot of talent. It's just whether he can stay healthy and be able to deliver that. And I mean, I personally don't think he can. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, but I mean, I wasn't overly impressed with that signing. Sarr is an interesting one because he played in Marseille. He was a right back. He used to be a winger. He transitioned back into a right back and can easily play as a wing back. So, I mean, again, he's not a high profile. He's a very surprising kind of panic buy, it looked like to me. And then they gave up, obviously, their young Frenchman back over to Marseille. So, I was a little curious about that one. I mean, I don't mind him as a player. I just don't think he's exactly what Bayern need, but maybe he's just there for that extra body to push their right backs. I mean, they don't have a natural one, so it kind of made sense to me. It's just that would not have been the name that I predicted. And then their last signing was Roca, I believe, from Espanyol. And I personally don't know crazy much about the player. I heard he followed him a little bit, just watching La Liga, and it looked like he had a pretty decent season and is a highly rated player. So he'll be an interesting one. It'll be very challenging to break into that starting 11. I'm assuming he'll just be a depth player. But to me, it looked like a lot of just panic buys. I mean, some of them can work out. I mean, Bayern last year did a couple panic buys, so I mean, I'm definitely not going to say it was a complete miss. They needed bodies, they got bodies, so it's just whether they are able to perform or not. And looking, where were we? Any luck finding out if Thorgan's back? I'm not sure exactly when Hazard's going to be back. I still think he's out for a few weeks now, and I don't know too much about that, but I don't think he'll be starting within the next couple of games. Maybe that Schalke game, he might have a chance to get back there. Agreed with Jose. A center back is needed. Yep, we touched on that. Center back, in my opinion, was needed just because we're running a 3-back system and we need center backs. I mean, hopefully if an injury, hopefully injury doesn't happen. If it happens, it could deplete us a little bit. But stay confident. I mean, we have our back line playing pretty well, and we're going to have Zagadou to come back. So I mean, that is pretty good to me. Honestly, Chan is performing better in the back line than I've expected. Oh, and Choupo-Moting, yeah. Chan is playing better now. And like I said, I like that Chan plays on that right-hand side because he pushes up, he gets into positions where he can whip that ball into the box, which is a very important role, especially because we have a lot of possession when we play, and he's got that type of midfield quality where he can put a ball in the box. So, I mean, and he's been getting back, and he's picking up his defensive game. So they're finding chemistry, and I think they're striding a little bit, which is awesome. And yes, I forgot about Choupo-Moting, which is hilarious because his agent deserves a round of applause. Like, that is insane. He went from a relegation team in Stoke and somehow managed to slip his way into PSG and then jumps over to the Champions League winners. But again, he's not, I mean, is he like any better than like Götze, who people were ripping apart and saying, I don't want him at our club. I thought Götze made more sense than Choupo-Moting. So, I mean, again, they all kind of came as, I mean, they needed bodies and they all kind of came as short-term type options, which it'll be curious to see how the way that they fly, but where are we? I think Bayern brought in some garbage backup is what I think. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say complete garbage. I don't want to be too harsh on the players, but I mean, they're not players I would have thought would have been linked to the Champions League winners. We can leave it at that. Man United failed, as always. Yeah, Tactical Manager TV had a tough watch on the weekend, watching them get destroyed 6-1, so a lot of Dortmund fans really enjoyed that. I think that anyone who was on Twitter that day would have really enjoyed that 6-1 defeat. I mean, they're all over the place. I don't know why Sancho would take a look at that, and now he's like, all right, I'm pushing through a move right now. Let's go. Let's do it. But, I mean, what do I know? I don't know. It's ridiculous. But I think Bayern's window was poor. The players that actually tried to get failed due to the club's not wanting to play too much and practically scattered to get whoever. That's a very, very solid way to put it, Jose. I totally agree. I think that they, again, and I still reiterate the fact that they brought in Leroy Sané, who, I mean, the Champions League winners, bringing in the quality of Leroy Sané. I think everyone just assumed that this is going to be a successful window. But that's not the case, in my opinion. Leroy Sané is a fantastic signing, but they lost a lot of quality, and they didn't quite replace it to what I thought. And like you said, I mean, you know it's panic buying when you wait to the very last second and sign Eric Choupo-Moting. Even Douglas Costa was one that completely. When these players come out of the blue like that, it's just because they need to fill bodies. They need to find these strategic type of deals. They weren't. I mean, none of them were crazy bad business because one was a loan, one was free, one was only like 10 mil, and then the one was a prospect. So I mean, he could be potential. So I mean, I'm not saying the business aspect of it. It's just again the players. I didn't think completely went with what I thought Bayern was going to do, but nevertheless, hence why they got so many for free. Yeah, I should read the comment because you make perfect sense. You're just repeating exactly what I'm saying, but yep. 30 minutes remaining. Yep, and we can celebrate. Get the confetti ready. Eric Choupo-Moting has ties to those French clowns PSG. And I'm going to play crucial for Bayern. That's no matter what order. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he went from a Champions League finalist to a Champions League winner. I mean, you'd think he'd be someone who'd be worth a couple $100 million, not Eric Choupo-Moting. But as a Bayern fan, I hope Sancho stays. I've had a lot of Bayern fans reach out to me on Twitter, honestly, and a lot of them have been. I've been like to communicate with them because they're very polite to me, and I like to be polite back, but they actually give me pretty decent content to try to think of. And I had a lot of people saying, like, for the Bundesliga, we want Sancho to stay. It makes the league more competitive. It's got a player of such quality and stature in the league. It looks super, super good. So, I mean, I like when you guys reach out to me like that and tell me that, yes, I want Sancho to stay because, I mean, it's great for the league in general, and it creates more of a bit of a title challenge. And it would have sucked to see them get ripped out from Dortmund and go to United, just because the fans would have had a heyday on us. But we got 30 minutes left where we can count that down and enjoy it. And Sancho is staying mate. We confirmed it on August 10th. We did, but I kept very, very quiet. I didn't celebrate because I didn't want to get roasted for doing a video potentially like this, and I just kind of wanted to see how it played out. And now I wanted to get all you guys together who were on the front lines firing at United fans left, right, and center to come to a place where we can celebrate him staying for another year. But I agree, the August 10th deadline, I think, was a statement from the board that he was staying. And Sané and Roca are really the only solid, decent transfers. Yeah, absolutely agree. The other ones will be surprises, like the Coutinho and Perisic last year for Bayern, especially Perisic for me, played surprisingly well. I just don't think Douglas Costa has it in him anymore to be able to put up consistent performances, especially after just the injury-riddled seasons he keeps having, but he does have a lot of talent, so you can't take that away from him. Everton bought Ben Godfrey. Yeah, I saw that. I think that's a decent piece of business. Norwich had a couple of young players who had a lot of potential, like Todd Cantwell, I believe, is still with him. I don't think he got bought, but let me know if I was wrong about that. But he was a good talent who I assumed would have been picked up by a Premier League team. But that was a good piece of business. I really hope Zagadou stays fit in time. Our backline will actually be good. Our backline is playing pretty well right now. I'm really excited about that. But yes, I want Zagadou to get back as quick as I can. And yes, I know did they end up loaning out that young striker from, I don't know if I can even pronounce his name, Zirkzee? Did they end up loaning him out? I saw a bunch of rumors that he was going out, and I was a little bit surprised like that too, just because it looked like he was going to get integrated more into the team, which I think is a bit of a mistake. If that's what Bayern did, is they brought in Choupo-Moting to loan out, what's his name, Zirkzee. I just thought that was kind of strange. Saying that, though, I mean, if the kid does want to play more, he's going to have to go out on loan. And maybe this is just a filler year while he goes out on loan, plays a lot of minutes, maybe improves while Choupo-Moting comes in and can fill a backup role. Because also very surprisingly, Choupo-Moting actually did half decent for PSG last year, which I thought was a very big surprise. But he was a bit of an impact player come off the bench and actually got some goals. So it's just that bit of an aerial presence, which I think that Dortmund needed. And I believe Mario Mandzukic is still a free agent. And if he is, I still think that's something that Dortmund should consider. But nevertheless, this year's Bundesliga is about to get ugly. I swear the fans of Dortmund are reclaim our seat first place in the top 5 before we prepare for the Champions League. Yeah, this Bundesliga season will be interesting. Just because I'd assume just the Champions League winners would just kick on. But after watching their transfer business, I think it's opening a real potential for Dortmund if they can find a bit of consistency, get these young kids firing, and I think that we could be in a big bit of a title test. And don't write off Leipzig either, just because even after leaving Timo Werner, they look dangerous after the first few games that we watched them play. So I don't want to ever write them off. It's here for Borussia James, true hero of this window. Yeah, James definitely was on Twitter morning, noon, and night. So I mean, the real commitment. You gotta give the kid credit. I mean, I don't know how many people have taken shots at him in a day. He sends to our group chat a few screenshots, which just, you almost got to shake your head because it's just too funny. Some of the replies going back towards him. But yeah, he stuck in there and he gave out quite a amount of tweets. So I mean, you got to give the kid credit. What do you think are the places 1 to 4 at the end of the Bundesliga? I put out a predictions video and I had Bayern first, Dortmund second, Leipzig, and then Leverkusen. But that was a very, very early video, so I still think after watching the first few games that Leipzig looks dangerous. But I'd probably put Gladbach there because Leverkusen looks all over the place to me right now, and I just thought they would be able to fill some of those holes that, like Patrick Schick would have a decent season replacing Volland, but I mean he's already injured, so I mean I'd say probably Gladbach fourth, probably the same as last year. I mean, but I'm hoping and praying that Dortmund can clinch the title. This one made me realize how massive our summer window it will be. Big chances almost everywhere. Yeah. I'm we're going to definitely have to do a couple of things. I mean, it's so hard to look ahead to other windows. We got to only can play with what's in front of you, whether that be the formation switches, because like I keep saying, the reason that the players are so important to what we have now is because we play in the 3-4-1-2/3-4-3, and we can only play that formation is what it looks like. We don't have the center backs that can match a 4-back or the wing backs that can match a 4-back. So going forward, we're gonna have to find we're gonna have to figure out exactly how we're gonna play, and we're gonna have to target those types of players. Players who play in a 3-back is gonna be very important, I think, for us, because I don't see us, especially if we keep Guerrero, which I desperately hope we do, switching a formation anytime soon, because he's just too valuable out on that left. And depending on how our right wing back spot looks coming the year, seeing how Mounier can adapt, or maybe Marai comes up, we may have to look at that position as well. But yeah, Zirzi needs to play. It would have probably played 8-10 games. I agree, yeah. If Zirzi went out for game time and does play, then I think that's probably the best for his development. It makes more sense that Choupo-Moting comes in. But, I mean, you never know. I mean, having experience with a top team like that maybe would be better for his development. But in my opinion, if you're young and coming, you need to be loaned out and you need to play. That's the only way you're going to get better. James is the king. He's been getting death threats and much hates. Wow. Yeah, I mean, again, just from some of the screenshots we've seen, he's definitely one to wear his heart on his sleeve, and he gets into some pretty heated arguments. I've definitely got to say that. I feel like Hoffenheim could be a close for 4th up. I think that Hoffenheim is in for a bit of a surprise season as well. I think just they found a system that works, and I mean, you've seen them take down us last season, and then a different team, but still, I mean, that performance in that 4-0 win and the performance against Dortmund, they're not one to sleep on. I'd say definitely top 6. If they can find some consistency as well, you never know. But, I mean, Kramaric continues to, yeah, Kramaric is absolutely all over the place. Leipzig is pretty well, definitely dangerous to add. Yeah, and they added Kluivert today, which and Sorloth was another big one that they picked up. So I think Sorloth could be in for a good season, but they brought in a ton of players, so it's going to be tricky to see exactly who they're going to start night in, night out. Guerrero is the GOAT. I honestly love watching him play. Guerrero is absolutely the GOAT. Like I was saying last year, the reason that we found that round of form is because of Hakimi and because of Guerrero. Two completely different but fantastic wingbacks that are able to just completely turn a game on its head. And yeah, he's been a lot of fun to watch. Kramaric is no match for Lord Erling. Yeah, Erling Haaland needs to be in for a fun season. But again, he's a very young player. This is why I needed to stress that we found a striker like Mary Mandzukic to come in. Just because you got to be very careful. You don't want to overplay Haaland. You don't want to see him get injured, and you have to rest him because this is going to be such a crazy COVID-stricken season. I want a player like Mary Mandzukic. I've said it just like I said Malang Sarr. Mary Mandzukic needs, in my opinion, to come to Dortmund. I think his experience, his experience in the Bundesliga, and he's an aerial presence. He just makes total sense to me. And I believe he's still a free agent, which means we can still sign him. So that could be a sneaky purchase just because I don't want to see Mukuku get pushed into a situation where he ends up biting off more than he can chew. I want to see him develop because he's clearly going to be a phenomenal talent for us. Get his chances here and there with the first team, but I mean, he's not going to break over Haaland. So I mean, let me know if you guys agree. I mean, I think Mandzukic literally fit the definition of a backup striker. He can come in at his age, come off the bench. We need that aerial ability when we're down in a game, but either way. But before I read any more comments, I am going to do a little segment here. So this is JJD TV United tweets. So I'm just going to read them out to you, and we can just have a chuckle together. So the first one is, I'm 90% sure that Sancho is coming to United. It's fair. It's fair. You never know. Sancho wants United. Ole wants Sancho. He's our number 1 target. Dortmund want to sell. No other clubs involved. What could go wrong? Nice. Nicely done. I like that. Ha 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 ha. That's pretty much confirmed. Wrap it up. Sancho to Man United. See you soon, Jadon Sancho. I don't have a beep, but beep you Dortmund. So, you know, just we'll roll through that. That's okay. Hoping to see you in red soon. Thumbs up. Jadon Sancho is absent from the Borussia Dortmund squad. People think it's because of illness. we haven't given up. Hashtag MUFC. Wow. Wow. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to just bring that off because we need to get back in. So those are some of the tweets that were getting sent to me all day long, and I thought that was freaking hilarious. Someone had a couple of collages, so kudos to everyone out there who tagged me in all those. I was dying all day. I needed to keep a straight face because half the time I just would look down and just die, and then that collage was something else. But either way, thanks to everyone for sending those in. That was absolutely perfect, and we can just jump back in here. So yes, Mukuku, who isn't even 16 yet. Will Mukuku play next month? I think that they're going to get Mukuku in as quickly as they can, just because he's an exceptional talent. He's been doing so many good things for all of our other youth teams. But I assume that, I think he's already, I know he's already training with some of the first team, but as soon as he's 16, I mean, I guarantee he'll be on the bench for a few games. But he's 16, and I just get very worried because I want to see him continue. This is just the debate we had about sending Xerxes out on loan. He needs to play. Yes, getting the experience and coming up with the first team will give him some of that experience, but we already have Holland as that striker. We don't play really in that two striker type formation, and he's not going to be playing night in, night out. I mean, the kid's 16. However, I do want to integrate him in the team. I do want to integrate him a little bit just to give him that exposure and just to continue his growth, but I want him to rip it up where he is now, and which is why I kept reiterating that we need a backup striker. It's been a big weakness for us for years now. That title chance we had went by because we didn't have a backup striker, in my opinion. We lost it because Paco just couldn't stay healthy. But I say yes. Next week he definitely will start. Well, not start, but he will be next month. He will be in some of the starting teams. But I don't think our coaching staff realized how important wingbacks were to the attack last year. Muniz looks like a liability. Yeah, like I said, the reason I liked watching Dortmund so much last year was our wingbacks. Hakimi. I mean, if any of you guys are watching any of the Inter highlights or even the Inter games, he's doing exactly what he did for us. He is so good on the ball. He's such a good passer. I don't know how many 1-2s he's had that put him in space with that rapid speed. He's also a very good crosser of the ball, which a lot of people didn't quite realize. Just the pace he's able to drill in. He's very similar to the way Hazard puts the ball in the box. And he's also an excellent finisher, just like Guerrero is. Both of our wingbacks are very important, which is why I stress that if we're obviously keeping Guerrero, which I don't want to see him go ever, we need to keep rocking that 3-4-1-2, which was surprising because it's a formation I never really liked until I watched it last year with Hakimi and Guerrero, and I just fell in love with it, and it just suits our personnel. Let's all laugh at United. Let me get started. Yep, don't cuss on the internet. Mukuku turned 16, yeah. He turned 16 sometime in November, and then he's eligible to go up for some first-team action, so he may potentially be one of the youngest players to ever play for Dortmund. I'm not sure if he's going to beat Sahin's record, but he very well may. Paslak, can Paslak be a starter? It's tricky. I mean, it was such a perfect game to watch him come on in the last game and then get that last goal and show the kid some confidence, which I think really stapled in the fact that he's not going out on loan anywhere. For me, I've been stressing and saying just because of the way that Meunier has been playing, I'm like, get him in. Throw him in that right wing back spot where he's going to be comfortable on his right. He's played as a right mid. He played as a right mid last year in the Dutch league. He has played obviously as a right back, so a right wing back spot with the energy the kid has, the determination. I don't see any reason why he can't start. It's just whether Favre throws him in. And Favre has a tendency to sometimes stick with experience / players that, even though they're not doing very well, still stay in. But saying that, I was surprised that he kept starting. I would have assumed Brandt would have been a starter over Bellingham. He hasn't been. So I think he can be a starter if he gets into the team and he can just get off right away. If he gets a fantastic first game, he could potentially take over that spot. But don't sleep on Mirai. I think when Mirai comes back from injury, he could give Meunier a run for his money as well. But Mukuku is another speedster in his veins and step over Renier and the boys. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what he can do. I mean, the kid is breaking records left, right, and center, so I shouldn't ever say that he's not going to do the same. And the young 17-year-old Florian Wirtz from Bayern Leverkusen is doing wonderful things right now. And he's being very versatile. It looks like he was out on the wing, and now he's dropping into more of a center mid-8 type role. So, I mean, young kids can definitely shine. We're not taking away from that. And looking at the numbers that this kid has done, is ridiculous. But he is 16. We don't have to rush him. I want to be very careful because I think he's just going to be very special for us. But I do think that he will come on. He will surprise some people with some of the performances he puts in. But again, I just want to be very careful with him. I'm also a bit worried about Bukuku last year for a reason. Oh, I lost my comment. Yeah, the number one thing with him is I just want to keep an eye on his development. I mean, we can't ever criticize Dortmund for developing players, so I mean, I would never question them because they've done such a fantastic job. They know what they're doing. They'll integrate them how they see fit. And you've seen all the fantastic players that we brought up. So there's no reason to think that they can't do that. And I'm very, very, very excited to see what he does in the future. Do you think we missed out on Memphis Depay? It's a tough question. I like Memphis Depay a lot, but I've watched him play a lot because I do like Memphis. He started out as a left wing, and for the national team, he basically told Koeman that I want to play more through the middle. He wants to get the ball more. He likes to set up plays. He likes to score goals from the middle. He likes playing that false nine and be able to create the space himself. So he doesn't like being out on the wing like that. So he completely transferred into that center forward position for the Netherlands. For Lyon, he did the exact same thing. He used to play out on the right. I remember that disgusting top four of Fekir, I believe it was Traore, Depay, and then Mariano Diaz. Those four were fun to watch. But once they all left and he switched into that center forward role, that's where he likes to play. And I don't think if we signed him, he would have wanted to play it on the left, which is he would have been the replacement if we signed him for Sancho. So I don't think we really needed him, and I don't think he really fits our team unless because we already have Reina and we already have Royce who would play in that kind of floating number 10 role, which is what Memphis Depay likes to play. So I don't feel like we missed out on him, but for 20-30 million, I think that's a steal considering he had 1 year left on his Lyon contract, and he's just a phenomenal player. It looks like, I believe, if I read it correctly, he's staying at Lyon, so he'll be available for free. So that's not too bad. So, I mean, I don't think we need him this season anyways. Who knows what will happen in 12 months' time, but in the summer, or 8 months' time, or whatever it is, when the transfer window reopens, maybe he'll be one to look at. But I definitely rate Memphis Depay, and I mean, he would not hurt our team. November 20th for Mukuku. Yeah, that's the day. I'm pretty excited about that. Mariah has the potential to replace Hakimi, but Faber won't give him time. Something I'm worried about as well is because I remember last year, and I thought Faber did it just because he wanted to see what Mariah could bring to the table. But he played a game last year right towards the tail end of the season. I think it was our second last game where he didn't start and even play Hakimi, and I just thought it was to get a glimpse of what Mariah could offer. And Mariah played a phenomenal game. Absolutely sensational game. So I hope that he gets in and he doesn't get too stubborn and just keep starting Meunier when he's not quite doing it, because Meunier's delivery has been so poor so far. He's gotten himself into space. The odd time the ball will go a little too far because people think they're playing into Hakimi, but in my opinion, Meunier has not done bad getting himself in space, but his delivery has just been atrocious. Always brings a tear to my eye thinking we fish out a gem like Guerrero from Lorraine. Yeah, Guerrero was unreal. I mean, he went from a left back, and that's what he played also for Portugal, and I just never would have seen him with. He's such a unique player being able to run a left wing back spot like that, but he's definitely, in my opinion, the most comfortable in the left wing back spot. And when we did our last watch along, I was just having a time watching him literally go from the left wing back spot into the middle, even onto the right sometimes. He's got a license to roam, and you don't usually see that with a left wing back, which just shows how classy he is being able to run in the 3-4-1-2 formation like that. He's injured, but hope he'll get back when he's... Yeah, Guerrero, I'm assuming you're talking about Guerrero, but Guerrero is, I believe he's pretty much almost back to full health. Like, I mean, he's probably similar to where Royce is right now. They're not going to be playing 90-minute games probably for a month-ish, but they're definitely back on the right track, and Marco Royce and Guerrero both had good games last game, so I hope that those guys keep going. Sahin was 16 years and 334 days. Surely Mukuku will break that, and 3 goals while he's at it. That was a perfect little message. How can you complain with that? I would love to see Mukuku break those kind of records and break Florian Hitz's, I think, brand new youngest goal scoring record. But it'll be interesting. He's a striker, so I mean, if there's someone who could potentially break that record, it could be him. But I'm very excited to see him. But again, very cautious about what the kid can do. Riley fixed it. Oh. Mukuku is currently playing in the U21s at age 15 is dominating. I think he's more than capable. And I like it. I like it. You never know. Every player is different in the way that they progress. You always have to be very careful. And I mean, I'm not talking like I know more than the people from Dortmund. They are fantastic at it, but every player is different. Like I said, some players thrive off of going out on loan, finding themselves, whether it's in a different league or a league under, and just getting that bit of, like, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, for example, was a player for Chelsea who didn't really do anything for the team, was sitting on the bench, put him out on loan at Crystal Palace, and all of a sudden he became an England international. But then there's players who like to break in to their scene. Alphonso Davies didn't go out on loan. I didn't think he'd be starting. Came out of absolutely nowhere and just took over. Now that the left back spot is his for as long as he wants it. So every player is different. But you're right. From what Moukoko has been doing for our U21s, U19s, everything, he should be more than capable to come in and learn from players like Royce and even Holland. So I'm excited to see that as well. I hope Bellingham wins the Bundesliga Rookie of the Month. He absolutely has to. I mean, Bellingham has been sensational for us so far. I can't think of another player who could really push him, in my opinion. He's came into this team, and playing beside an Axel Witsel is such a amazing thing for a young player like that, because in my opinion, Witsel has just completely transformed our midfield. I touched on that a couple times in the past, but I rate Axel Witsel very highly, and I think that he will just continually be able to help Bellingham improve, and Bellingham will just keep getting better and better. But yes, I voted for him too, and I think that he will win it. Oh, best of the work. We got some Munich fans in here. I'm curious, if there are any Munich fans in here, you can let me know what you guys thought about your guys' transfer window, because I was keeping an eye on it closely, as you guys are rivals, and I wasn't overwhelmed with it. I touched on that at the beginning of this stream, that I thought that it was panic-y, but not bad business, if that makes sense. You guys brought in players on a strategic way, free transfers, not a lot of money, and loans, so I don't know. We're only a couple minutes away now. A couple minutes away from the celebration. I'm just going to jump on our news outlets here just to make sure that I'm not preaching and then breaking news Sancho leaves, because I would just be ripped apart, and that I had to leave YouTube for a little bit. Holy crap. First thing I opened, Cavani completes United move. I was desperately scared that was not the case, but I don't see absolutely anything about Jadon Sancho. But United signed Cavani, so, why go after a promising 20-year-old and who could take that number 7? We can hand it to the old vet, Cavani. Gotta love it. Less than 5 minutes. He's been here since he was 13. Can't see him leaving. I believe you're talking about Moukoko, and I am very much hoping that he is going to have that passion and commitment to the team that I believe Gio Reyna has. I knew Sancho wasn't leaving for months. Don't believe these United rumors. I didn't believe it either. But I want to be very, very careful, because I just know if I came up in here and did a video quite like this, and he did end up leaving, I would just get ripped apart. So I just wanted to save it and bring us Dortmund fans together and celebrate in the way that I know that we want to. Can we talk about how good Reyna has been playing? I said from the beginning that he's going to be a player to watch this season, and he's definitely not disappointing. Absolutely he's not. Gio Reyna is my freaking guy this season. With him and Marco Reus, I stated that I want to see Gio Reyna get in the team as much as he can. I want everyone to watch the way he's developing, and everyone from the Dortmund to make sure that he can play safely as much as he possibly can and get his body used to this workload. But the kid is class, absolute class. He's been so much fun to watch, and I keep talking about it every game I watch him. The confidence to take on players, the confidence to make good balls, the confidence to take corners, free kicks. That takes a lot. Anyone you guys know who've played soccer before, you have your free kick takers, you have your set piece specialists, and for a 17-year-old to come in here and do it, I mean, it's quite special for me. To be fair, so I mean, yes, Gio Reyna deserves an absolute round of applause. I love it. I like Bellingham. He is too good. He would be too good at Bayern. No. Bellingham is going to stay for a while. Trust me. Trust me, he is. But we are 2 minutes away, friends. 2 minutes away. Brandt should still start over Reyna. Reyna is a good backup. I think Reyna and Brandt could both start. I think Reyna could play in that 10 if Royce isn't on, and I think that Brandt can play in that 8 if Bellingham's not on. But Gio Reyna is playing like something else. Royce starts ahead of Brandt and Reyna, though. Yeah, and they're going to balance Reyna's workload. He's not going to be playing all 34 games. But, I mean, we have two very solid players for that number 10 role, which is a very, very important role, as anyone in football knows. But, yeah, Royce and Reyna for me is at 10, and then if Brandt's going to want to break into this team, he's going to have to take Bellingham's spot, in my opinion. The fringe should get the number 7. We got 1 minute. 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen, and we can celebrate. Where do you look up for transfer news? I use a couple different ones, but my favorite one is FootMob. In my opinion, I got this app, honestly, back when I was like, I want to say like 15, and I spend most of my time on it. It's what I'm on right now, just keep refreshing the transfers to make sure that I don't get popped up and then cry. Because I don't want to cry in public. I don't feel we have that kind of relationship yet, but I want you guys all here, if you haven't already, to just smash that like button, because we're about to celebrate. And if I had a bottle of champagne, I would just pop that thing right open and slam it back, but I don't want to be inappropriate on YouTube here, so I still don't see anything about breaking news. It's 11 here. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy transfer deadline day, everybody. It's 6 o'clock. It's over. Manchester United did not sign Jadon Sancho. Look at the confetti. It's flying all over the place. I feel like I'm on New Year's. It's over. Time to cry. Hey, Josh. My boy from Australia makes it on. I wasn't sure if he was going to find it. Look at the celebration. This is wonderful. Let's go. Absolutely fantastic. Again, though, I'm just going to keep double checking quickly. I don't want to make sure that they didn't sneak it in on us. But as far as I know, Jadon Sancho is going to be with us for another year. And that's absolutely fantastic. Welcome to Dortmund, Jadon Sancho. This is perfect. It took a lot. I mean, we took a lot of abuse on Twitter. Now it's our time to kind of come back. There's a lot of tweets that I just read to you guys. I got tagged in probably about 200-something tweets today, and I was just laughing the entire way. Again, big shout out to BBB Atlanta, because he kept feeding me him all day. And it's over. Yay, King Jadon. There we are. Confetti looks beautiful. King Jadon is staying in Dortmund. Yes, he is. The United Standard finish. Yeah, he's gonna be. I want to jump on Twitter when I get off of this, and just there's gonna be some vicious tweets heading towards him. But Michael Zorc masterclass, firm handshakes all around. I agree. This has been absolutely sensational. I'm excited to have him here for another season. I think he's very important, and just gives that little bit of confidence, because there's always a bit of a has declared the transfer window shut. Breaking news: American Libertarians has declared the transfer window. Yeah, he's gonna be taking some heat right now. So if you guys want to, you can jump on Twitter and join James, because you know he's gonna be firing left, right, and center. There's probably a debate of whether James will get banned tonight, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. But no, I mean, that has been a lot of fun. I'm so glad I was able to jump on here with you guys, just because, like I said, like I kept getting a lot of people just saying, like, come on, like, talk about Sancho more. I'm like, I just couldn't do it. I didn't want to jinx it. I mean, I know it would have been some good content, but you never know what happens with these transfer windows. They are so sketchy, and you say the wrong thing, you're gonna look like Mark. And I literally read probably 200 plus tweets of United fans convinced that he was coming, absolutely convinced. You never know where these rumors can come from. Some of the most reliable people in the world said that he was gonna go to United, and he didn't. And you fantastic Dortmund fans deserve a round of applause for sticking with it and knowing that we get Jadon Sancho for one more season at least. So that's awesome. Zorc deserves a statue. Yeah, and again, a big thing to the board. I mean, I think they wanted to definitely show their strength when it came to the transfer market and show that they're not going to be pushovers, and nothing of the sorts is going to happen with Dembele and Aubameyang. And also kudos to Sancho. I don't know exactly what he's thinking. No one knows exactly what he's thinking, but in my opinion, he's been a class act and hasn't done anything along the lines of what Dembele did. But James has been talking down Goldbridge and Romero tonight. It'll be a party. Yeah, James is going to be having a lot of fun tonight. A lot of fun. But, yeah, I think that's, I'm going to check one last time, just because you never know with these transfers. I want to be absolutely sure before I jump off the stream here. But I want to thank all you guys for obviously joining the stream. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed your guys' communication in the chat. And I think this was a pretty decent window for us. I mean, we brought in, obviously, Bellingham, and I think he'll be a pretty important player for us. And we didn't quite get a couple of players I fully for sure did, but the kids and the boys, and they all look on good form. I think we got some positive things, as well as another season of Jadon Sancho. Oh, we still got some Bayern fans in here. You know, those guys. But with that, comes the end to our little Jadon Sancho watch today. It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys all so much for joining us on the stream. Definitely stay posted, though. We got some fun content coming up for you guys this week, and we'll be back with a watch-along in the near future. For sure the Schalke game, but potentially a couple other ones. So until next time, guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.